So, The Boys is a show that has been on a generational run with its storytelling, character development, and ability to stay culturally relevant in what I believe is a realistic and accurate social/political commentary on the United States. At the same time, it's one of the best comic book adaptation we've seen in a long time, not being afraid to go against the original source material in order to provide a fresh new spin while still delivering quality entertainment. No shocker, I like The Boys, and I reference that in countless videos and shorts here on the channel. And with the biggest season currently airing with only a few episodes left, season 5, the series' final season, there's a lot to talk about. With season 5 being the last season, saying the show has a lot on its plate would be an understatement. Because of that, no other season has been more criticized and scrutinized, and for good reasons. The show only has 8 episodes to wrap up the entire story, and that's not even mentioning the confirmed inclusions of Gen V's characters and overlapping plot lines like the Godokan virus and Marie Moreau literally being confirmed as a Homelander level soup in her own right. Personally, I expect nothing less than a masterclass from a season in a series I already hold in such high regard, and with 6 episodes out already, it's safe to say the popular opinion and general consensus have been pretty much mixed to say the least, at least compared to previous seasons of The Boys. Some people dislike the pacing of season 5, saying it's either too slow or it focuses on unrelated matters, with some even referring to certain episodes as filler, which is criticism that honestly goes beyond me. Me, on the other hand, while I do have my personal qualms with the show, I won't hold all my thoughts and opinions until I witness the finished product. From my perspective, it seems like the writers are treating the first 7 episodes as a slow burn, gradually building up to a heavily hyped up finale, and overall, I've been enjoying everything we gotten so far. So why are we here? Well, I just watched a video from another creator, SK, where his criticisms wasn't aimed at The Boys as a whole, nor at season 5 overall, but specifically at episode 1 of season 5. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with criticizing one individual episode, it definitely wouldn't be the first time someone here has done that. After watching, rewatching, and rewatching the first episode of season 5 again, I believe SK's criticisms simply doesn't hold up, and I'm going to explain why.
So The Boys season 5 started recently, and it has been really bad so far. On a critical level, it's probably the worst season in the series so far, though I do find a lot of it funny, even if it doesn't hold up.
Have you seen the memes? Have you seen the memes about me? Posting them should be a crime.
I'm evil for memes. I'm evil for memes, bruh.
For this video, I'm going to cover the first episode, and this will demonstrate why I don't have high expectations for the rest of the season. But if you like this video enough and demand more, then I'll know to cover the rest of the season. That part's up to you. With that said, let's talk about it.
Alright, start the show.
So the episode opens with Homelander showing up for an annual meeting. Starlight is shown disguising as a performer, even though Homelander considers her public enemy number 1. Depending on what the goal is, it could be justified for Starlight to take a huge risk like this, but the plan they go with is probably one of the worst plans they could have thought of.
Homelander and Queen Maeve.
So they could tell the world that we left the rest of them to fucking die? You stay the fuck back or I'll laser you, goddammit! I'll laser every fucking one of you!
That was the most moronic plan I've ever heard.
Why would anyone think this is a good idea? Now sure, the Flight 37 video is good to keep as evidence, but there's a reason they held on to it instead of dropping it immediately.
Go ahead. Release it. Let's light this candle, huh? I mean, sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose. First, I'll take out the nerve centers. White House, Pentagon. Then any domestic defense capabilities, and then critical infrastructure, like cellular, internet, that kind of thing. And then I'll just wipe New York off the fucking map for fun. I'll even throw in Des Moines and that little cousin fucker hick town that Maeve's from. Because why not? I'd prefer to be loved. But if you take that away from me, being feared is A1 okie doke by me.
So goodbye White House, goodbye Pentagon, goodbye New York, goodbye Des Moines, goodbye Maeve's hometown, goodbye everything. All thanks to the Starlighters, to infinity and beyond.
What have you done? School stuff.
This isn't just a dumb plan for the characters to commit to, it's a flat-out character assassination for each and every person who agreed to this. The entire reason they didn't release the video was because Homelander would cause mass genocide, so with that knowledge, they decided to Release the video.
Good job.
Let me stop you right there, SK. First off, he made two claims. One, this was a dumb plan. Two, it's a character assassination to anyone who agreed to this plan due to the fact that it was mentioned and established in earlier seasons. The reason they was holding onto this footage is because of the looming danger and threat Homelander told Starlight. First off, the reason I believe this plan wasn't done by any means is because at this point in season 5, Homelander has full control of the White House, and as the most powerful man on the planet, he essentially has control of the most powerful country in the world. With that, his influence over the general public and world's population is greater than ever. And let's not forget, not only he's the most powerful man on the planet, having control over the most powerful country, he also is backed by the most powerful company, which is Vought. With that, he's able to run the most demonic smear campaign filled with misinformation and propaganda, antagonizing Starlight and the rest of the boys. With that, the only real meaningful way for Starlight or the boys to sway general opinions on Homelander is to release this video, because drastic times calls for drastic measures, which this exactly was. 2, he claims this was a character assassination for Starlight for simply ignoring Homelander's prior warnings about if you won't be loved, you will easily enjoy being feared. Essentially, the reason I believe this wasn't a character assassination for Annie is because she was trying to call Homelander's bluff, because if he does go out in a rampage, he will simply ruin all the things he built up towards till now. And let's not forget that Homelander in that clip you used to justify your point was in a position where he has a lot less to lose compared to where he is right now. So for that time being, yeah, it was totally a bad idea for Starlight to release the footage, but in season 5, in episode 1, the situation has clearly changed.
Homelander plans to go off on his audience as a result, but then gets stopped by Sister Sage. Okay, well, what about Starlight? He would have used his super hearing and super speed to search the entire location.
No, not really, since Homelander will be in a compromising position, and him fleeing the scene after a pretty convincing video of him condemning a plane to death will look really bad from a PR standpoint, and he simply won't just use his super hearing due to the fact that he has to decipher between thousands of sound being emitted by different people walking in and out, constantly moving around the building. And I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure Homelander only reaches super speeds when he's flying, so it actually would be better for him to stay on the stage and let the people at Vought cover his back like they always do.
He wouldn't give up until he found the person responsible for this. On top of this, how didn't he already know that Starlight was here? He has the super hearing to hear explosions from blocks away.
Again, sound masking. He has to decipher among some thousands of sounds being caused and emitted by different people throughout the entire building, so it could be hard for him to determine which one is actually Starlight. And plus, he wasn't expecting Starlight, so he wasn't even on guard. And it seems like Homelander's super hearing is more of a conscious effort. He can't just passively hear everything all at once. It seems like more of an ability that he could turn on and off based on how it's executed and is shown.
He surely would have caught on to Starlight causing tons of noise from her fight with Black Noir.
Hello? Anybody home?
Like I said before, he wouldn't, and he was already occupied with doing something else, so he wouldn't even be aware of this being a possibility.
The show cuts away and pretends as if Starlight could have escaped this, and shows Sister Sage saying the Flight 37 video is an AI video. And to be absolutely fair, this is the best reason they could have given for why Homelander still has supporters after this. And if the context for its release wasn't this bad, it could have actually been a strong decision. On a logistical level, the context for why it's out doesn't make any sense. However, I do think the idea in isolation is a solid commentary on how dangerous generative AI can be when it's left unchecked. Because yeah, real evidence of real crimes can be dismissed if AI becomes advanced enough to easily generate fake evidence like this. And if that possibility isn't accounted for, then you can believably frame someone for a crime with a prompt. It's frustrating because this actually could be effective commentary, until you realize that the video only released because of numerous character assassinations.
No, so far, no major or not even minor character assassinations has been established within this video.
So this was definitely a huge missed opportunity. It's also a very unsatisfying payoff when this has been built up for quite some time. Imagine how impactful it would be if Homelander was finally defeated and the video was released for everyone to see him for who he is.
That's not inherently true. I feel like they've been harboring over this evidence for a pretty long time, with it even being a major plot point within Gen V being the cause of the Godokan virus. I think them releasing releasing this video was a great way to start off the final season of The Boys, and showing off how much of a threat Vought and Homelander poses to our main cast, which will force The Boys into new creative ways to take down Homelander while keeping us, the audience, surprised.
That opportunity is now wasted, and the discussion of AI seems to mostly have dropped after this moment, so the commentary isn't even expanded upon any further.
No, anything else would be a simple over-explanation on a commentary that you literally just explained within the duration of the footage you played for this video. The inability to determine whether or not a footage, audio clip, or image is AI poses massive security risk for the general public, and it may cause major skepticism and suspicion from the general public towards the mainstream media.
It doesn't lead to any larger, more meaningful discussion, and while we do have a few episodes left to see if it does, it hasn't so far as of this recording, and 5 episodes are out, so it seems like it's not going to be much of a focus despite how pivotal this is to discrediting the Flight 37 video.
How did Starlight get in the building?
Because you didn't use your super hearing.
It simply wouldn't work. Keep in mind, he was doing a presentation, so let's say he would hear Starlight, recognize her voice. What would he do? Leave the stage in front of his millions of fans and investors, making Vought look bad? And plus, Starlight was purposefully sneaking around, knowing Homelander could probably hear her with his super hearing. So you're getting mad at a character for not realizing a character was near him while that character was purposely being discreet? It's almost like he had guards on a post, knowing he couldn't keep 100% personal surveillance on the building, hence why Black Noir was there.
She wasn't even that quiet during the show. Did you hear it?
I was humiliated! It's that people don't hate me enough! Have you seen the memes? Have you seen the memes about me?
Listen, Homelander, I understand that memes are offensive to you, and I'm very sorry they offend you, but oh, what am I saying? I got nothing.
Posting them should be a crime.
So, I get that Homelander is meant to become more deranged as we go along, but I'm sorry, I can't take him seriously if he's actually crying this much about memes being made of him.
Homelander has always been portrayed to be a narcissistic psychopath that is hell-bent on people's approval. It was literally explained in a prior season that when Homelander was a kid, Vought hired the best therapist and child psychologist to condition him to be the perfect lapdog, completely obedient and constantly seeking approval. The show has made it clear that this upbringing was a direct cause into how Homelander acts right now, as we see the parallels with Ryan and how his mom, Becca, was trying hard to raise Ryan in the most normal way possible with a motherly care. And Homelander crying this much should not be a surprise at this point. This is pretty consistent within his character writing. He's always wanted to be taken seriously, so of course some memes which are designed to poke fun of him he will not like.
It makes him so much less intimidating compared to his previous depictions, because he comes across as a crybaby rather than the arrogant and intimidating force he was.
A crybaby with a loaded gun is still very much dangerous despite being a crybaby with a loaded gun, with the loaded gun being Homelander's power set and him being the strongest superhero alive right now. That alone poses enough threat to the narrative for you to take him seriously, and with his mass influence and deteriorating mental health makes him more deranged and unpredictable than ever. Literally, when he called in the Deep in Black Noir for a quick meeting, he was casually posted up with a dead body of someone he just completely dismantled with ease. That is very much a threatening character.
Back in season 1, almost every scene with Homelander was tense, because you had no idea what he was going to do. All you knew was that he was dangerous, and he's terrifyingly good at hiding his intentions. Now he just comes across as a joke.
Let's be honest, who does Homelander come across as a joke to in the narrative confines of the show?
I can't take him seriously anymore. And this is the final, most intense season of the saga. It's like if you made Darth Vader cry about people making jokes about him in Return of the Jedi. I would stop taking him seriously.
There are literally prior moments from earlier seasons that makes Homelander feel more like a joke and more embarrassed than this clip. And I already don't like Star Wars, so I'm not gonna engage with that analogy, so we're gonna continue on.
I want it leaked that in 3 days, we are going to execute Hugh Campbell, Milk, and the French one.
Wait, why haven't you done it already? Hasn't it been a year?
It's been a year. And you haven't found A-Train.
What's the point in keeping them alive when they've been a constant hindrance to their operation?
Two perfectly plausible reasons. One, Sister Sage could have just advised Homelander not to kill them, and as the smartest person on the planet and Homelander's personal advisor, he probably just listened until now. Or two, he has been using Frenchie, Curie, and MM as a way to lure in Butcher and Starlight as a trap.
There's no reason they should be alive. If you want to say it's because he wants to use them as bait, then why didn't he do that earlier? Why did he wait a whole year? Why did it take Starlight almost exposing him for Homelander to try this?
This could have easily been the final nail in the coffin for Homelander to push this plan.
Either way, Homelander should have done something more than just tossing them in a prison when they can easily be broken out at any point beyond Homelander's knowledge, especially after A-Train betrayed him. He should know this because he cried about it during an episode. The only thing stopping prisoners from escaping is this one soup that can instantly blow you up, but A-Train could easily knock out or kill that person. He has super speed, he can deliver any attack or set up any trap before you see him coming.
I mean, the prison is still heavily monitored and guarded, but SK is effectively right. A-Train does pose a threat to Homelander, that's why he has the Deep tracking him down. And plus, A-Train wasn't really much of a threat only up until now, after being asked by Starlight to help, since he was always on the run protecting his family.
Butcher then goes to Starlight's hideout because Kimiko trusted him to show up there. Why would any of them trust Butcher? Didn't he betray them at the end of season 4? He literally killed Victoria Newman against their orders. Why would they be okay with working with him? He's literally trying to genocide the Supes just to kill Homelander. He became a monster at the end of season 4. Nobody should trust him.
Two things. They don't trust Butcher. They explicitly said this when Butcher met with Kimiko and Starlight, and the only reason they're going along with his plan is because they literally share the same common enemy, that being Homelander. The existence of Homelander poses such a threat to them, they have to literally put aside their differences to work with each other.
Where have you been?
Vought got tired of me ripping off their guards' faces, so they deported me to Manila. I tried to sneak back once in the wheel well of a 747, but I fell out at 10,000 feet.
Why would they deport Kimiko instead of straight up killing her? Don't they have a soup capable of blowing people up in one go? Why isn't that an option? Why not put her in a maximum security prison that she couldn't break out of no matter what she does? What do they need to do? Fate her? Homelander is fine with executing and torturing people. Surely he'd be fine with entrapping her forever.
One explanation I can provide is that simply the reason that Vought and Homelander didn't take these precautions into consideration when it comes to the handlement of Kimiko is simply to put it's all part of Sister Sage's plan. As it was revealed in episode 5 of the same season, Sage actually wants the soup killing virus to release to ensure mass destruction. And this is something consistent within her character. As we saw from the season finale of season 4, where everything seamlessly turned to shit, it was revealed that everything was orchestrated by Sage up until that point. And I think this example kind of points to a problem of doing episode reviews, because it's always possible for an ongoing season to clarify on quote-unquote plot holes and mischaracterizations.
How did you find me?
Oh, ways and means, love.
That doesn't explain anything. Starlight didn't trust him with the location. She could be anywhere in New York and Butcher wouldn't know. I guess Kimiko didn't know either, because if she already knew, why would Starlight ask Butcher how he knew?
I don't feel contempt to care enough to contend against this criticism, simply because this has no real narrative importance for me to care, and having a formal explanation on how Butcher found Starlight doesn't seem to carry that much of a significant role within the story. We all know that Butcher is really tactful, resourceful, and intelligent, and Butcher's explanation simply boils down to don't fucking worry about it.
It would have been obvious at that point.
How did you get these? Flyby, you've known where the guys are this whole time?
So how come you didn't spring then?
Honestly, they've been safer there.
How can she know that? Clearly people are mistreated at the prison, and even then, there's no telling when Homelander decides to order a kill against them.
Within the same following episode, it was literally revealed by Butcher that the real reason that Starlight didn't just simply bomb rush to get Huey and the rest of the boys out is to simply put, she was too scared to confront Huey.
He could easily put another prisoner up to it, so he doesn't look bad. And if she had a full view of the location, it wouldn't be hard to get A-Train to free them. He can literally tranquilize all of them one by by one, and it wouldn't be hard for someone like him to get a hold of plenty of them. So why didn't Starlight at least attempt this earlier? Also, why doesn't Butcher wear a disguise wherever he goes? He is stated to be America's most wanted, yet he looks exactly the same, which makes it easier to track him down.
So 2 points I need to contend. The reason that Starlight didn't try to do a previous rescue attempt is to simply put, it was too dangerous to fuck up the first time. Not to mention, without Butcher's involvement, they have no real motivation to get them out within that time. And your plan with A-Train seems to make sense when you forget that Vought perfectly understands A-Train's abilities, hence why they have been on the hunt for him. And again, with no real plan and goal to justify their means of rescuing them before Butcher arrives, it simply serves no purpose other than they're all together again.
It's also really dumb how everyone is just constantly talking when they're nearby the prison instead of planning everything before they get close. I say this because if they expect Homelander there, then they should expect him to use a super hearing. It would be really bad if he caught on to them before they had a chance to enter. So Starlight goes full Electro on the prison to start the breakout.
How you like the new?
In the process, one of them gets destroyed by a soup immediately. That same soup doesn't use this ability when looking at the boys trying to escape, which allows Butcher to retaliate very easily. So this just creates plot armor for the boys.
Not really, since her job was not just to monitor the boys, but to monitor every Starlighter who was captured, hence why she actually blew up another prisoner before this happened, and she was actually going to blow up Frenchie and Kamiko until she was stopped by Butcher, which makes sense because they're only there to rescue Frenchie first. So Butcher being the third soup on the boys protecting Frenchie is not plot armor, it just simply makes sense.
And Homelander only shows up way later in the fight after Butcher overpowers the soup. Homelander should have been attentive the entire time. He would have prevented Starlight from relocating anybody out of the prison. He would have easily killed anyone trying to escape. He also tries looking around and checking under objects to find Butcher, as if he doesn't have X-ray vision to check.
A lot of things I have to argue against here. Homelander was 100% attentive way before the boys even pulled up. It was well established that the whole thing was a trap, which the boys do acknowledge, but they still took the opportunity to rescue them. SK makes it seem like Homelander only pulled up when the boys got there, but that was never the case. When the boys actually got there and was distracting Homelander, Starlight actually took this as an opportunity to flashbang him with her powers. With not only this surprise attack having every prison guard panicking, it temporarily stopped Homelander, who can, like you said, easily kill them all. And he brings up the scene where he looks one time for Butcher after knocking him under a pile of rubble. SK paints the picture like Homelander was wasting his time looking for Butcher without using his X-ray vision, even though that scene was short, and the only reason he didn't use his X-ray vision is because he simply expected Butcher to be there, so it doesn't make Homelander look that dumb either way. At this point in the video, SK goes on to compliment the boy's handling of A-Train as a character in his death and how he was used in this episode and how it does well for his character writing, in which I actually do agree with, so I'm not gonna play that clip.
And I know this is going to bleed into episode 2, but how did Homelander lose the rest of the team? He has super speed, and he can use his hearing to track them down. It shouldn't be hard for Homelander to catch up to any of them.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
It's not lazy writing whatsoever if you just actually think about it. We don't know how far A-Train got Homelander away from that internment camp. Every one of the boys probably already escaped. And plus, even though he didn't get Butcher and the boys, he still got something valuable of it, which is the death of A-Train. Something that was a point of interest that Homelander established prior in this episode. So it's not like he got off empty-handed.
So that's the end of my coverage for this episode. I'd give the writing for this episode a 2 out of 10 overall.
And this is where I simply want to stop reacting to SK's video. Bro, I believe his video boils down to some nitpicks of the episode, important contextual scenes that would answer his questions. At the recording of this video, I think there's like 2 episodes out, and even though I've been satisfied with the final season, I do understand the disappointment and actual valid critiques other people have on The Boys so far, but I believe this was not one of them. Besides that, it's about time I start actually making videos on shows that isn't cartoon or anime related, and I think The Boys should be a good first step, but it ultimately depends on how y'all feel and how good the video does, because I've been kind of eyeing some characters in The Boys I do want to make some video essays on, like Sister Sage, Black Noir, and Homelander, just to name a few. Until next time, I'm your host Taken, and we do a little reviewing around here. Peace out.